You know that feeling when your partner goes quiet and something in you just grabs, or when you find yourself scrolling their messages for reassurance that everything is okay. When a disagreement that should be small somehow feels like losing everything. If any of that sounds familiar, you are not broken. Your nervous system is likely doing exactly what it learned to do long before this relationship began. I'm Dr. Narelle Duncan, a clinical psychologist drawing on 30 years of helping people understand themselves. This is Steady and Connected. Each episode, I'll bring you the science, the tools, and the clarity to understand what may be happening when anxiety shows up in your relationship and what you might do with that understanding. Let's get steady and connected. Let me show you a moment. I'm going to ask you to imagine it. And if you don't have to imagine it, if you've lived it, you know what I mean. It's a weekday evening. You and your partner are on the couch after dinner. They haven't said much since they got home. You ask if they're okay. Yeah, fine. They don't look up. What happens in that next 90 seconds is what this whole episode is about. I want to slow those 90 seconds right down and walk you through structure by structure what your brain is actually doing. Because once you can see it, it stops being mysterious and it stops being your fault. Your brain is, first and foremost, a prediction machine. One of its main jobs is to keep you safe. There's a small structure deep in your brain, almond shape, called the amygdala. Think of it as a smoke alarm. Your smoke alarm doesn't ask whether the smoke is from a real fire or from burnt toast. It sounds the alarm either way. That's the design. And in your nervous system, the same thing is true. It sounds the alarm at the first sign of what, to it, has meant trouble before. Most of the time, it's burnt toast. But the alarm doesn't know that. It just does its job. Back to the couch. What the amygdala is doing in milliseconds, reading tone, facial expression, the half-second pause before, yeah, fine, whether their body is angled towards you or away. It's scanning for any sign of smoke, comparing those signs against a template. What does this kind of moment usually mean? If the template says, this is the moment where something is wrong and I need to know what it is, the alarm goes off. Body cues that follow, like heart rates up, tightness in the chest, stomach can drop, sometimes a kind of held breath. This happens before you've consciously thought about it. The amygdala is much faster than your conscious mind, and by the time you notice you're anxious, the alarm has been ringing for a while. Now, the amygdala doesn't work alone. 3 other players matter here. I'll keep it simple. The insula. It's your body's translator. It reads what's happening inside of you, your heart rate, your breath, your gut, and it tells you what it means. So when the amygdala fires, the insula starts narrating, chest tight, stomach down, and it says, something's wrong. That narration feels like truth. It's not necessarily true, it's just an interpretive reading. Now, the second part, the prefrontal cortex. It's at the front of your brain. It's the part that handles nuance, perspective taking, complex and critical thinking. The part that can say, wait, hold on, let me actually think about this. But here's the problem. When the amygdala fires loudly, the prefrontal cortex goes partly offline. Not completely, but less available. Which means the moment you most need clear thinking to interpret your partner's silence accurately, it's the exact moment your brain has the least access to it. That's not a failure of intelligence, that's neurobiology. Thirdly, the vagus nerve. It's the body's calm and connect system. When you're safe, your vagus tells your heart to slow, your gut to relax, your face to soften. But when the amygdala is firing, the vagus pulls back. Your body braces, your face flattens, and your voice tightens. Now, there is even more the vagus does in anxiety that often surprises people, but we'll come back to that in a future episode. Let's go back to the couch. Your partner, in that moment, sees your braced face. The nervous system reads it, and now there are two activated nervous systems in the room. Let's add the part that makes all of this personal. Your amygdala's templates, what counts as a threat, what counts as safety, they weren't all downloaded at birth. They were also built over thousands of small interactions, mostly in the first years of life, mostly with the people who raised you. So if in those early years closeness was reliable, comfort came when you cried, presence came when you reached out, your nervous system built one kind of attachment template. If closeness was uncertain, sometimes there, sometimes not, depending on the day, depending on the mood, it built a different kind of attachment template. Now, if closeness was tied to fear, if the people closest to you were also the source of harm, it built another kind of attachment template again. These are not choices you made. They are adaptations to the relational environment you grew up in, adaptations that made sense in the environment you were in at the time. And that attachment template doesn't go away when you leave home. It comes with you into every relationship you ever have. So, when your partner goes quiet on the couch, your amygdala isn't just reading them now. It's reading them through a lens that was made a long time before they were in your life. And if you want to see which template is most active for you, that's exactly what the free quiz at steadyandconnected.com.au helps you find. Take it whenever you like. We'll come back to what your results mean across this podcast. People often ask me, why does this mostly show up with my partner? I'm fine at work. I handle stress everywhere else. So, 3 reasons. First, proximity. Your partner is the person whose face you watch most closely, whose tone you hear most often, whose silence you can't walk away from. There's nowhere to take a break from the cue. Now, secondly, stakes. Losing this person, really losing them, is to your attachment system catastrophic, not metaphorically, literally. The system that evolved to keep us close to caregivers reads relationship loss as life-threatening. Even when our adult mind knows we would survive a breakup, the system isn't doing the maths. It's running biology. Thirdly, prediction load. The closer the relationship, the more your brain is scanning the other person. What are they thinking? Are they pulling away? Did they sigh louder than yesterday? Your brain is frequently running predictions throughout a day in a close relationship, and the closer the bond, the more weight each tiny prediction carries. That's why a colleague going quiet doesn't always move you, and a partner going quiet can undo you. The cue might look similar from the outside, The system reading, it is not. So let's go back to that night on the couch. Your partner saying, yeah, fine. Now you know what's happening in those 90 seconds. Walk through it deliberately, beat by beat. Amygdala, searching for smoke. Your attachment template. The pause, the flat tone, the lack of eye contact. Match found. Alarm sounding. Then the insula kicks in. Chest tightens, stomach drops. A narration. Something is wrong. Remember, the prefrontal cortex dimmed, the part of you that could say, maybe they had a hard day and need 10 minutes. It's not at full strength. The vagus pulled back, you're braced, your face shows it. And then comes your attachment template. This is the kind of moment where things have gone wrong before. And so the urge rises within to ask again, to check, to say, are you sure? To harmonise, to keep the peace, to make things better, or to just stay silent, to do something, anything that stops the alarm from ringing. This isn't weakness. This is a nervous system doing exactly what it was trained to do, in exactly the conditions it was trained to do it in. Now, I want to share something really important here. Understanding the mechanism doesn't actually fix the mechanism, at least not on its own, but it does something else, and it's not small. It stops you fighting yourself. Because when we don't know what's happening, the natural reaction is to add a second layer of tension on top of the first. So the first layer is the anxiety itself. The second is the story you tell yourself about the anxiety. What's wrong with me? Why do I do this? Why can't I just be normal? Why can't I trust them? That second layer makes the first one worse every time. Think of it like this. When your kitchen smoke alarm goes off and you find burnt toast, you don't shame yourself for smelling smoke. You check the toaster. You let the alarm do what the alarm does. But when the alarm is your nervous system, most of us do the opposite. We argue with the alarm. We blame ourselves for hearing it. We never stop to check the toaster. When you understand that the spike, the tightness, the urge to check are part of your safety system doing its job, with attachment templates built before you had any say in them, the second layer can drop away. And what's left is the first layer, still real, still uncomfortable, but workable. This is the foundation of the work we'll do across this whole podcast. Everything else is built on this. I'm going to leave you with one thing you can do this week. Just one. Notice. That's it. Just notice. The next time you feel the spike in a relationship moment, your partner goes quiet, the message doesn't come, tone shifts, just pause. Take 2 breaths when you can. Resist the temptation to change what you're feeling, to talk yourself out of it, or do anything different. Just notice. What is my body doing right now? Where am I feeling it? What is my mind starting to do? And then gently remind yourself, this is my safety system doing its job. This is not necessarily the whole truth about what's happening between us. This is a system doing what it was trained to do. That noticing is the work, not fixing, not regulating, just seeing. It sounds small. It is not. This is how every piece of real change starts. We'll build on it from here. Next episode, we're going further. We're going to look at one specific pattern, anxious attachment, and how to recognize it in yourself without judgment. If you've taken the free quiz at steadyandconnected.com.au, your results already point you toward whether that's the pattern most active for you. If you haven't, that's the best place to start. Before you go, this episode has a free companion. It's called A Week of Noticing, and it takes that one practice, just noticing, and turns it into something you can keep beside you across the week. You can pick it up at go.steadyandconnected.com.au/notice. Bring it with you to episode 2. That's everything for this episode. If today resonated, follow Steady and Connected wherever you listen, so each episode lands in your feed the moment it goes live. And if someone came to mind while you were listening, share it with them. If you'd like to know which attachment pattern is most active for you, take the free 5-minute quiz at steadyandconnected.com.au. Your results come straight to your inbox along with a short email series that goes deeper on what they mean for you. I'm Dr. Narelle Duncan. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next episode.